Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Of course, my name is Kent, and the channel is EOS San Diego, and I appreciate you listening to this video. Actually, tonight I'm again in my computer, on my computer. You can see the rain all around Southern California. And actually, we are right there at Carlsbad. I don't know if you can see it right now. A little bit of a clearing right now, but it's been raining all day, and I just decided to make the video off the computer because it's been cloudy and rainy all day in Carlsbad, and pretty much this whole week. So that's what's going on in Carlsbad. But I want to talk a little bit tonight. Actually, I was hoping that the price would break out and go above $3 today. And of course, it fizzled on us. And we stopped at $2.79. Actually, it was down a little bit today. But the overall market, coin market, has been down today. Actually, it's up in the last hour. But today, the 24-hour, it's been down. Of course, Bitcoin and all the other top five were down over the last 24 hours. So unfortunately, the market didn't break above $3 like I had hoped, but hopefully tomorrow we'll get a better day and things will start to turn around because I think everything's in place. I think we're kind of lacking in news right now. In fact, if you just go to the search engine, what I usually do every day is I just type in EOS News. And then just look through it. And what I usually do is I look for recent news. So I go to my tools, I look for the last 24 hours and see what I can see. And usually if there's nothing here, you know it's been a light day for EOS. So I didn't really find too much to talk about as far as EOS is concerned. But I want to talk a little bit about Wells Fargo because this is really interesting to me because I'm actually I'm been a victim of this. A lot of people see my screen when I do Google Hangout like I'm doing tonight. I live stream from my desktop. You could see that some people could see that I have a Wells Fargo link on my. Actually, I'll just show you. If you go to right here is Wells Fargo. I bank with Wells Fargo, so I'm pretty familiar with Wells Fargo. I've been banking with Wells Fargo probably since the mid 1990s, a long time. And I've noticed lately that Wells Fargo is getting a lot more inconsistent with being able to, when I go to the ATM or when I go someplace, not being able to access my account. So I will go there, I'll put my card in, and it'll say unavailable, or something's going on with the ATM, or I can't access my account. And they've got something out. It says Wells Fargo's nightmare is Bitcoin dream come true. So what they're saying is, and this is, like I say, I've experienced this, so this is not something that I'm unfamiliar with. Last week, Wells Fargo customers were left unable to access their accounts via ATMs, their computers, or their smartphones for days. Though Wells Fargo, which is the fourth largest bank by assets, said the problem was largely resolved by Friday afternoon. Beginning on Thursday, customers continued to complain of problems over the weekend. The bank suffered an unrelated outage a week earlier. So, like I said, Wells Fargo has been having some problems with being able to access account. And I even have problem a lot of times getting my card to go through. So if I go to the grocery store to pay for something, I give my card and it'll decline. I have that happen to me all the time. I've talked about that before on my channel, to the point that I carry a couple cards just so I don't get embarrassed. Like has happened to me a couple times where I had to walk out of the store and the purchase didn't get paid for because my card got declined. Even though I've got my smartphone right there in front of me, I'm able to look at my account and show even the clerk that there's money in the account, that their system just isn't showing any. Their system is declining when there's no reason for it to decline because there's money in the bank. So I've had that happen to me a number of times. And this article goes on to talk about that what's going on really is just a failing of the banking system, a failing of the ability to upgrade to a digital sort of a digital arena, for lack of a better word, a platform, a digital platform. So they were talking a little bit more about how the banks are starting the aging of the banking. I'm trying to find exactly where it says it here. I won't be able to find it because I didn't mark it. But the banking system basically is built on an older system. Where is it at? The story is becoming a typical one for banks and traditional retailers. Banking services around the world as they struggle to upgrade aging systems to support, I'm reading right here, uh, online demand or demand digital world demand. That's what's going on. So what's going on right now is you got a banking system that's failing. It's failing because it's centralized and because it's not built for the digital world that we live in today. Basically, borderless, international system that interacts throughout the world at real time. And that's what's going on right now. And they talk a little bit about scaling too. They talk a little bit of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are, however, largely untested on a scale anywhere near the likes of Wells Fargo and Visa. Visa, MasterCard combined processes over 5,000 transactions per second with a capacity to do far more. The Bitcoin network takes 10 minutes to clear and settle a single transaction, while the likes of rival cryptocurrencies, Ethereum and Litecoin, can do more quicker. They are still far from anywhere near being comparable, which is true. But I looked at Blocktivity today, and the record for EOS is 48,521,649, and but that's on a 24-hour period. So activity right here, it's on a 24-hour period. So EOS is probably doing about 500 transactions per second. So for EOS to scale up to the kind of scaling power that it needs in order to clear the banking transactions like Visa, MasterCard, it needs to increase by about 10 times. But the potential is there. In fact, we've talked about that before. I've talked about that before on my channel. Potentially, EOS can be unscalable as far as how many transactions per second it can do with the interchain communication and all the things going on. So this is the digital world coming to age. The older ways of doing the banking and centralized and non-digital are starting to fade away, and you can see that they're failing. And I see that. I see it with my own bank account. I see that with my own card, that these systems are largely failing because of today's world that we live in. So this is something that obviously is going to take place in the very near future. Something decentralized, something that scales, and something that can maintain a worldwide banking transaction system that handles those transactions per second. And I think EOS right now is the only system that can do that. So this is happening now as we speak. And like I say, I'm experiencing this. So I don't know that Wells Fargo or any of these other banks are going to catch up, or blockchain will start to take over. I happen to believe when you run the two together, people will start to realize that the decentralized world is a much more scalable way, a much more safer way, a much more easy way to make the banking system work more smoothly. So anyway, I thought that was interesting when to bring it to life because, like I say, it's affected me too. So I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.